Summer slowdown is real. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jasmine. For those who are new, I am a full-time nurse working in Ontario, Canada, but I also like to resell on Poshmark US and Canadian app as well as eBay. For today's video, I wanted to recap my sales for the month of June. It was significantly less than my sales for the month of May, so I definitely can feel the impact of summer slowdown. If you like reselling content like this, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. So to start off, I had only 5 sales on Poshmark Canada for a total of $342. This averages to about $68 for the average sales price. In comparison, I sold 56 items on Poshmark US for a total of $2,226. My average sales price was about $39.75. So my first sale were these Burberry Sunglasses. I sold them for $140. These were from my own closet, which I never wore because I don't wear contacts that often, and these were non-prescription. So I decided to just sell them, and they sold for a best offer of $140. I originally had them listed for maybe around $170 or $180, but other offers that I was receiving were about $70 and $80 range. So when I received the offer for $140, then I was happy to take it. My next sale was this Lululemon light up tank, and it sold for a best offer of $30. My next sale was this Levi's ex-boyfriend trucker jacket, and it sold for $95. I did show this in one of my retail arbitrage videos, and it sold for a full asking price. Levi's is a hit or miss for me. Sometimes it sells really well, sometimes it doesn't, but I find that it sells a lot better on Poshmark Canada compared to Poshmark US. My next sale was this Lululemon hot spell tank, and it sold for a best offer of $27. My next sale was this Nike vest. I did buy this from a retail arbitrage, and it sold for a best offer of $50. That concludes my sales for Poshmark Canada, and now I'm going to move on to Poshmark US. So my first sale was this paper crane romper, and it sold for $7. When I took it home, I noticed there was a small flaw. One of the straps on the back was coming off a little bit, so I did sew it back myself, and I just disclosed that in the listing. So I was really happy to see it go for $7 because I was still able to get what I paid for and a little bit more. I'm trying to clear out a few items from my closet, so I'm holding a 4 for $25 sale, but it still sold for $7. My next sale was this Aritzia Community Razza bra, and it sold for $17. I currently have another bra of this style in my closet, but I think just because this one is all black, it sold a lot quicker than the one I currently have still. My next sale was this bundle. It was this Tommy dress shirt as well as this bench sweater. These were both my husband's, so I was willing to let it go for any kind of offer that I got, so I was happy with an offer of $20. My next sale was this Lululemon scoop neck tank. This is an older style of Lululemon tank, so they don't sell for as high as others do, so I was still glad to see it go for $20. My next sale were these Vans classic slip-on Vans, and they sold for $45. My next sale was this Free People halter top, and it sold for $43. I had this in my closet for a really long time, I think since last summer, so I was finally happy to see it go for $43. My next sale was this Lululemon Ebb and Flow racerback tank, and this one is a pretty sought after style, I think just because of the material, and it sold for $25. My next sale were these 1 teaspoon jeans, and they sold for $30. They did have a bit of wash wear, so I was glad to see it go for $30. My next sale was this Ara Cold Shoulder top, and it sold for $10. This was also in my 4 for $25 sale, but I find I haven't been making any sales because of this promotion, but the items that are in the sale are still selling, so I'm still happy to see it go for at least $10. My next sale was this Tna Maverick Jacket. I've sold this style before. I think I showed it in my last What Sold video as well, and this one sold for $50. My next sale is this Aritzia Babaton Tinsley silk top, and it sold for $20. I sold another Lululemon tank. This is a cool racerback tank in a paisley print, and it sold for $20. Another Aritzia piece. This was a Babaton tank. It was new with tags, and it sold for $15. I sold another Aritzia dress. This one was a Wilfred Free Lazier dress, and it sold for $25. My next sale were these Madewell Cali denim boot jeans. These ones I showed in my retail arbitrage haul, which I'll link above if you haven't seen it, and it sold for $70. This next sale was a bundle of this Lululemon light up tank as well as this dance strap tank, and together they sold for $60. My next sale were these Puma shoes, and they sold for $60. Next I sold these All Saints men's jeans, and they sold for full asking price of $60. Next were these Adidas Stitch and Turn shoes. They were a size 12 men's and they sold for $60. Next I sold these classic Vans and they sold for $40. Next I sold this new with tags Lululemon Lovely tank and it sold for $40. I currently have this tank in a different size in my closet right now, which isn't new with tags. It has been sitting for quite a while, so I think maybe just because this one was new with tags that it moved a lot faster. Next were these Vans Comfy Ara Cush sneakers, and they sold for $43. Next, I sold these Lululemon Abc Train tights, and they sold for best offer $68. Next were these New Balance 247 sneakers, and they sold for $60. My next sale was this Diane von Furstenberg skirt, and it sold for best offer $40. My next sale was this Diane von Furstenberg wrap dress, and it sold for $35. I think I have a couple more Diane von Furstenberg skirts in my closet at the moment, but I'm kind of iffy on whether or not I should pick it up again because these items have been sitting for a really long time. So I guess if it's cheap enough, I'll still pick it up, but if it's marked up, I probably won't pick it up again. My next sale was this Audrey 3+1 romper, and it sold for $38. My next sale is this BNCI Blanc Noir sweater. It was kind of asymmetrical zipper. I had this for a really long time, I think when I first started sourcing, but I originally had it listed on eBay, so I didn't cross-list onto Poshmark. So I fairly recently added it to Poshmark, and it sold for $25. My next sale are these Adidas Nikki Run sneakers. They're brand new in the box, and they sold for $75. My next sale were these Converse Allstar Oxford shoes, and they sold for $38. My next sale were these Adidas Swift Runs, and these sold for $45. Next, I sold this Madewell leopard print skirt. It was new with tags. I also showed this in my retail arbitrage haul, and it sold for $40. I sold this Lululemon ruffle scuba sweater, and it sold for $75. This was more of a limited edition piece, so it went for a lot more than normal scubas do. Next were these Lululemon Dance Studio crops, and they sold for $40. Next, I sold this Victoria's Secret bra. I had this in my closet for a really long time, so I was glad to see it go for $10. I'm kind of contemplating whether or not to still pick up Victoria's Secret. I know it's one of other resellers' bread and butter items, but all the items that I've picked up, they've sat in my closet for a long time. So maybe if it's cheap enough, I'll still pick it up, but if it's like more than $5, I don't think I'll pick them up again. Next, I sold these men's Lululemon Abc Pants. They're brand new with tags, and they sold for $88. My next sale was this Anthropology Sunday in Brooklyn dress. I really liked this style, and I thought it would do a lot better, but it sat for a really long time, but it finally sold for $35. My next sale are these UGG strappy sandals, and they sold for best offer of $45. This was a bigger size. It was size 11 women's, but I find that all sizes sell no matter how big or how small. My next sale was this bundle of North Face pants as well as these Citizens of Humanity pants, and together they sold for $45. Next sale was this Aritzia Tna Sea to Sky sweater. Again, I showed this style multiple times, and this one sold for $40. My last sale for the month of June was this Victoria's Secret tank. Again, I tried to move it a little faster by doing the promotion of 4 for a $25 sale, but it still sold by itself for $10. So that concludes today's video. So just based on my numbers, I can definitely feel the summer slowdown, or I might not have been promoting and sharing my closet as much as I was for the month of May, as well as stores opening up has definitely impacted my sales. I'm still happy with every sale and excited to continue to expand my business. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!